What do you think about Shakur and Teo? What kind of fight are we having?
It's gonna be a great fight.
What's the most compelling part of the matchup for those two guys?
That's gonna be a great. You know what? Teo's a hell of a fighter. I love Teo, but I love Shakur. His style is almost impossible to break.
When Oscar De La Hoya talks boxing, people listen, and what he just said about Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson might surprise you. The Golden Boy was asked about the upcoming January 31st showdown at Madison Square Garden, and he didn't hold back. Lopez is defending his WBO title against Stevenson, who's trying to become a champion in 4 different weight classes. That's a huge deal in boxing. De La Hoya told Fight Hub TV that he loves both fighters, but then he said something interesting about Stevenson. De La Hoya said,
I love Teo, but I love Shakur. His style is almost impossible.
That's high praise coming from a 6-division world champion who knows what great defense looks like. But here's where it gets good. De La Hoya thinks if anyone can solve the puzzle, it's Lopez. He said,
to break, but if there's a fighter who can break.
He added that Stevenson doesn't run away in fights. He stays right in front of you, which means Lopez has to make something happen. De La Hoya refused to pick a clear winner. He just said it's going to be a great fight. Smart move, because this one is tough to call.
But it's going to be a hell of a fight because I love Shakur because he doesn't run. He's right there in front of you. So it's up to Teo to do something, but I think it's going to be a great fight. Great fight for boxing.
Who's the most?
Let's talk about what makes Stevenson so hard to beat. The guy has barely lost a round in his entire pro career. Think about that for a second. He's beaten top fighters like William Zepeda, Oscar Valdez, and Jamel Herring. His jab is like a magic wand, and he judges distance better than almost anyone in boxing right now. But Lopez has something special too. His 2 biggest wins came against Vasily Lomachenko in 2020 and Josh Taylor in 2023. Those were career-best performances, where Lopez looked unstoppable. Sure, he's had some fights where he didn't look great, like against Sandor Martin and Jermaine Ortiz, but when the lights are brightest, Lopez tends to show up. Dan Rafael, a respected boxing journalist, pointed out something important. When Lopez faces big-time opponents, he delivers. He rose up against Josh Taylor when it mattered most, and Stevenson, when people called him boring, he stood in the pocket with Zepeda and won almost every round. Both fighters answer the bell when pressure is on.
You know, Teofimo has been a bona fide world champion in 2 divisions. He was the champion at lightweight, had most of the belts, defeated Lomachenko. He did suffer the upset loss to Kambosos. There were some physical issues there that we didn't know about going into the fight, not to make excuses for him. But regardless, he came back.
The venue matters too. This fight belongs in New York. Lopez is from Brooklyn. Stevenson is from Newark, which is just a 5-minute train ride from Manhattan. The Garden hasn't had many huge fights lately, so this is a big deal for the city. New York crowds don't reward nonsense. They reward control and skill.
Kind of fight that belonged in America, and it didn't belong in Las Vegas. It belongs in New York City at Madison Square Garden. Teofimo is from Brooklyn. Shakur is from Newark, New Jersey, which is a 5-minute train ride from Midtown Manhattan. I mean, it's got everything you want to see. The Garden hasn't had a lot of big fights in the main arena over the last few years. The last one they had was the 3rd fight between Katie Taylor and Serrano. But before that, it'd been, a couple years, I think, since they had a main arena fight. So this is a big-time fight.
Lonnie B broke it down differently. He called both fighters extraordinary talents. About Stevenson, he said the punches come right out of the holster with no warning. You can't see them coming. Lopez reminds him of Roy Jones Jr. because you never know what he's going to do next.
You got, both are extraordinary talents. Extraordinary talents. Shakur, oh my God, flawless. Don't telegraph his punches. They come right out the holster. They come right out the clip. You got Teofimo, who's extremely athletic. He reminds me of Roy Jones. You never know what he's going to do. It's kind of hard to train for somebody like that because you don't know what Teo's going to show up.
The interesting part, Lonnie called it a 50-50 fight, not because he's unsure, but because he sees this as a battle of will. He explained it depends on who can impose their will. This isn't about who has prettier technique, it's about who has that Michael Jordan mindset where losing just isn't an option.
I'm looking forward to seeing it. I can't wait to see it. I got it a 50-50 fight, depending on who can impose their will.
50-50?
Yeah, I got it 50-50.
We don't got who gonna win? We can't go 50-50. Somebody gotta win it. This ain't not gonna be no draw.
See, like I'm just like I can't pick a winner because it's like I can see Shakur winning it, and I also can see Teo winning it.
Okay.
And I can see Shakur winning it, and I can see Teo winning it. Then it's like, well.
Zab Judah had a different take. He's all in on Stevenson. Zab said something simple but powerful. You can't beat what you can't hit. He compared Stevenson to someone moving in and out of the matrix. If Lopez can't touch him, all that power and athleticism doesn't matter. Zab thinks Stevenson will break Lopez down piece by piece, not emotionally, but structurally. That's scary when you think about it.
Teo's a good fighter, but this type of style Teo possesses, you're gonna break him up. You're gonna break him up. You can't beat what you can't hit. You can't. This is impossible. That boy ain't nothing to f around with.
Right.
Poor boy, he's still out of the Matrix Part 3. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, he you know what I'm saying? He pulling shit away and hit you with, come on. I'm loving him. He's dope. I mean, I always spoke highly of him. Always.
Gary Russell Jr. gave a detailed breakdown. He favors intellect over athleticism, so he's leaning towards Stevenson. But he thinks it's still 50-50. If Stevenson boxes, moves, and controls the center of the ring, he'll win. But Lopez can make things difficult. Here's Russell's advice for Lopez. Attack in spurts. Close the distance, throw 4 or 5 punches, let your hands go naturally. If Lopez throws 5 punches and Stevenson only throws 1, the judges notice. Lopez needs to make Stevenson fight defensively. And here's the key point. Lopez has the power to hurt Stevenson, but Russell doesn't think Stevenson can hurt Lopez. Ryan Garcia is confident Stevenson wins. He's even betting money on it. Garcia pointed to Stevenson's speed, defense, and ring intelligence. He thinks if Stevenson sticks to his game plan, he'll control the fight from start to finish. Robert Garcia, one of the best trainers in boxing, said both fighters are great, but this comes down to heart. Who has the will to become the man? It's about who's smarter, who plays the better cards, and who doesn't make mistakes. He praised both fighters for not waiting until they're old to face each other. They're doing it now while they're both in their prime. Now let's hear from the fighters themselves. At the press conference, things got heated. Lopez and Stevenson almost came to blows. Staff had to separate them. This isn't just promotion. There's real tension here. Lopez said he's been thinking about fighting Stevenson since the amateurs. He saw him back in 2011 or 2012 at the Junior Olympics. Stevenson was destroying his opponent, and Lopez took notice. They were in different weight classes then, but Lopez always wanted to test himself against that skill level. Stevenson is determined, not just motivated. He's got everything he needs in life, but he wants more. He wants people to know he's the best. Stevenson said,
I want people to know I'm the best. That's my main objective. I'm here for the best versus the best. I called on Teofimo for this fight to happen because I wanted to prove myself and prove how great that I am. So come fight night, like I said, I'm gonna do everything in my power to make sure I come out victorious, but I wanna prove how great I am. Like, I want the world to see the greatness within my skill set, the boxer that I am. Like, after we get out the ring, I want everybody to be talking about that. Like, yeah, I'm that guy.
He's not chasing people's expectations. He's got his own goals. Lopez has a different mindset. When people call him delusional, he pushes back. Lopez explained, delusional is when it's not real. It's real. He knows who he is and what he's capable of. He's not looking for a knockout specifically. He knows if you chase the knockout, you won't get it. Instead, he wants to set a good pace early and let things develop. Lopez doesn't think Stevenson will make it 12 rounds at 140 pounds. This is Stevenson's first fight at this weight. Lopez believes the size, the power, and the pressure will be too much. He had a point when he mentioned Arnold Barboza Jr. That guy was his mandatory challenger, ranked #1, and he was too scared to pull the trigger on his punches after feeling Lopez's power. The training camp tells us a lot too. Lopez's camp isn't about big explosions anymore. It's about surviving his own instincts. His team is teaching him that blowing up early against Stevenson will just make him tired. The work is ugly on purpose now. Long pressure rounds where there's no hiding. Constant movement, constant punches, even when his legs are begging for mercy.
1, 2. Right hand again. Give me that right hand, baby. Give me that right hand. Don't show it. Right. Like that. Don't show it. Okay, go. Go. Come over here. Too fast for me. Go. Come on, Jack.
They're breaking his habit of cutting the ring, throwing one big punch and admiring it. Against Stevenson, that gets you nowhere. Now it's smaller steps, smaller punches, combinations that don't look flashy but actually do damage. Even blocked punches steal space and mess with rhythm. The footwork is completely different. No more highlight reel jumps, just inching forward like someone who won't leave. This camp is harder than any weight cut because Lopez has to stop thinking knockout and start thinking rounds. That's like telling a race car to enjoy traffic.
You know, my mind is limitless, so then again, it's like I could always succeed to another level with it, and exceed to it. So it's really just trying to just keep it going, keep moving forward throughout the whole time and throughout the whole process, and mainly just have fun with it. You gotta have fun with what you do. I love this. I haven't stopped doing what I've done because of the fact that I enjoy what I do. This has been 20 years in the making.
Lopez's background shows why this is hard for him. As a kid, he hated losing so much that he would run away from his father after bad performances. His dad had to call the police when he was 8 years old. He would cry in the corner because he was so hard on himself. He wanted to be perfect. Now, 20 years later, he's learning to be disciplined instead of explosive. Stevenson has help from Terrence Crawford in camp. Crawford is one of the best fighters in the world, and he's sharpening Stevenson's timing and defensive work. Crawford already said Stevenson is going to dominate Lopez. That adds another layer to this rivalry. What's at stake? For Stevenson, it's becoming a 4-division world champion. That's legendary status. For Lopez, it's defending his titles for the 4th time and becoming the first person to beat Stevenson as a pro. For boxing fans, it's seeing the best fight the best while they're both young and in their prime. The press conference showed real animosity. Lopez was throwing verbal shots, trying to get under Stevenson's skin. Stevenson stayed cool, but made it clear, anything dirty will be reciprocated, brother. Don't try me. When fighters are willing to cross that line before the fight even happens, you know the actual fight is going to be intense. Lopez has the home crowd advantage. He's from Brooklyn, and Madison Square Garden is basically his backyard. The crowd energy could push him when things get tough, but Stevenson has fought in big moments before and never seems rattled. Here's what it comes down to. Lopez is training to fight against his natural instincts. Stevenson is built to punish those instincts. One fighter is trying to create controlled chaos. The other is trying to turn chaos into routine. It's discipline versus volatility under the brightest lights possible. Can Lopez touch what he can't see? Can Stevenson handle 12 rounds at a new weight against someone with serious power? Who stays true to themselves when the plan starts falling apart? These are the questions that will be answered on January 31st. De La Hoya said it best, Stevenson's style is almost impossible to break, but if anyone can do it, it's Lopez. That's the perfect summary of this fight. Nobody knows for sure what's going to happen, and that's exactly what makes it must-watch television. Who do you think walks out of Madison Square Garden with the victory?